Hey guys, it's Chad here, and today I'm bringing you a basic tutorial on the Java Eclipse IDE. This is for Luna. I think it's version 4.4 of Eclipse. So let's go ahead and get started. Not sure if this is going to work for anything past Luna, just as kind of like a disclaimer at the beginning of the video. So if you're looking for something on Luna, the debugging tool, then you might want to search for another video. Alright, so let's get started. I'll pull a little bit of old code. This was actually from back when I was in Computer Science 2, and I kind of changed around a couple things to make sure that I had stuff to work with, and I'd like to show you how to use the debugging tool. So first off, what I'm going to do is run the test, the JUnit tests. You all have seen these quite a few times. Obviously, I'm going to fail them because I changed a couple things to make the code break. So as I'm looking at this, test lose play game is going to have to play an entire game. So obviously, we're going to have to fix a couple things with that. And then I also have a method right here called test make move right. And that's failing. So that means my move right isn't working properly at the moment. And then win play game is probably the same thing as lose play game. It's going to have to play an entire game. So let's go ahead and go back to our code, and let's go down to the move right method. And the way we're going to use the debugging tool is, in order to run the code to this, we're going to set a breakpoint. You can either set it at the method header, or you could set it within the method. So I'm going to go ahead and set it within the method. You double click on this little line right here, and let's go ahead and run the code. So obviously you're going to see down here the please enter a direction. Actually, let me stop this and let's run it in the debugging. Okay, so we'll run in the debug mode. It's going to say this kind of launches, configured, blah, blah, blah. Go ahead and hit yes, and it's going to start you off in the main method. So when that little green bar is going to show you what line it's on, and your three main tools are going to be the step into, step over, and step return. I advise not using the step return. A lot of the times it'll throw you back to a really random place. But let me explain what these two buttons do. The step into, if you're sitting on a method such as this declaration using the constructor, what it'll do is it'll actually take you into the constructor or into the method that you're sitting on. And if you know that the method is working correctly, then you're probably going to want to hit step over, because otherwise you're going to have to step into the method and just sit there and keep stepping until the method's over. So I know the map file name is correct. Step over that, and just basically keep going until it hits the play game. So we're going to go over and then step into the play game. So over here you're going to see the names of your variables and the values of your variables. And this is going to be a really important tool as you go on, because if something's going wrong, you want to see what's going wrong and basically what is happening. So we're going to keep stepping over. We're going to step over that, and then step over that, because we know our print map is working correctly since our test ran true. It's going to ask us to put something in, and I'm going to come down in here and type right, since that's what we're trying to test, and step into that, and it actually might have me type right now. So right, hit enter, and up here you can see that M, my string variable, is now set to the word right, which is going to be really useful, like I said, here in a little bit. And it's going to say while the player isn't in a corner and the direction or command that I type isn't quit, we're going to go ahead and do whatever my command is. So I'm actually going to step into this while loop. Oh, whoops. Hit the step into the player in corner. So let's just go ahead and get back to here. Alright, so we're going to have to step into that. And then it's going to say if m equals right equals left, any of the directionals, we're going to say OK to that. So I'm wondering, yeah, hit step over because it'll jump into the actual if statement. So now what we want to do is take a look at the move that we're actually making. So we're going to step in to the method that we're calling. And obviously L, which is the parameter that was passed, should be right. So there we go. Since we called the method with make move, and then the parameter was m in the previous function. So if L equals right, which it does, then we should go to the move right function. So we're going to go ahead and step into that and step into this. Now here's the breakpoint. The breakpoint is actually a little unnecessary at this point, but if you're running code and you know everything's working properly, and it's not based on user input, then the breakpoint will actually stop your program at whatever point the breakpoint is set at. So make sure you do that if you're running a program that doesn't necessarily use user input. So the move is right here, and what we're going to want to be doing since we're moving right, the way this function works is it basically takes the value that's in the square brackets and adds it to user column. So we should be sitting at, I think, 5, since it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Since we're computer science majors and we like to start counting at 0 because we're cool. So it should add that. So let's go ahead and see if move is going to equal 5, as you can see as you hover, plus 3. So step into this, move equals 8. It looks like it's doing the right thing, but we might want to be careful. So the move is less than side length, so we can actually step over this because we know that it's going to work. And it'll make a good move through. So we're going to go back. Make move is going to basically keep going because it checked. It's going to check again and see if it's equal to left, or actually it'll skip over all the rest of the else if statement. So we're going to keep going. So make move. Let's go ahead and type right again. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, m equals right anyway. So we're going to go increment total. Total is now 1. And then m equals user input. Next line. M is now right again. And we're going to keep going. I accidentally hit the step into again. Okay, step into. M equals right again this time. So we're going to go into make move. And basically you just keep hitting the step into. So this time it should be 8 plus 3. So let's see if this actually puts move as 8 plus 3. But 8 plus 3 should be 11, but as you guys can see, it's saying 15. So something must be wrong with this sentence. It did the wrong thing, it set the wrong thing. So what you can do is basically just investigate this line, and there's something going on that I like to call coder's dyslexia, if you will. And basically what it's saying is the user column, so a row like this, if you guys can see me kind of scrolling up and down with my mouse, plus map the user column plus user row, it's basically, these should be flip-flopped, since typically when you make an array you call ij, and I will create your rows and j will create your columns. So this is basically saying map ji, which is backwards from what you should do. So what you can do is, while you're in the debugging tool, you can actually change these, and I'm just going to type in the user row and user column, and it's going to give me a fit, and that'll change your code. So what we can do from here, since we know what line it was, we can actually leave, terminate the debugging tool, and then come over here, hit Java again, and as you see, it's changed now. Now I changed one other thing in the code. I'm probably just going to go change it back for the sake of time on this video, because it's actually starting to get a little long. So it's up here, and I know I have it. Trying to figure out where it is. Oh yeah, and we'll just go ahead and change those. And since we changed something in our code, we're going to want to save and build. I recommend always hitting Control-S, Control-B. Close the JUnits, and then run the test again. And it's actually saying no line found, but that's because I didn't type anything in. So as you can see, though, the move right is working now, and that is the basic way to use the Java Eclipse debugging tool. Just make sure you use the step into and step over. Try to avoid using step return, because it will sometimes throw you into a random place, and it's kind of hard to get out. So I hope this helped you all. Thank you for watching, and good luck on future coding.